This is a real underground monster, comparable in size to a multi-story building, and this is the largest excavator in the world. In this video, I will tell you about the biggest and most interesting machines from around the world. And at the end of the video, you will learn about how to transport 6,000 tons of cargo from one point to another, and how much fuel it will require. Enjoy watching. In previous videos, I already talked to you about the largest machines in the world, and mostly these were truly gigantic dump trucks. The record holder among them was the famous Belarusian Belaz, but many might wonder, where do they repair machines the size of a multi-story residential building? Certainly not in the field and quarry, as doing a good repair in such conditions is almost impossible. Therefore, these giants had to be towed to special service centers. Here's another logical question you might have. How can you transport a dump truck that weighs several hundred tons? And I will answer, with the help of special tractors. For example, Belaz 7430G. This is one of the largest tow trucks in the world, capable of transporting machinery weighing up to 200 tons. And it is made based on the 220 dump truck Belaz 7540G. And this tractor impresses not only with its power and technical characteristics, but also with its size. The evacuator for particularly large machinery has particularly large dimensions. Belaz 7540 has the following dimensions: almost 46 feet in length, 26 in width, and over 20 feet in height. The machine is equipped with a 2,335 horsepower diesel engine, as well as an electromechanical transmission. For safe control, this Titan has a fire extinguishing system and a circular video surveillance system installed. The machine brakes by using electrodynamic brakes, and thanks to the hydraulic steering system, you can turn the multi-ton wheels of this machine with just one finger. Naturally, all these tow trucks are made to order. If necessary, your vehicle can be equipped with a complete set of welding equipment. Well, I've been talking about ordinary vehicles. Let's move on to the real monsters. This excavator took a whole 5 years to assemble. Bagger 288 was released back in 1978, and all this time it has been digging hundreds of thousands of tons of coal every day, and they plan to operate it all the way until 2045. How is this possible? Well, first of all, this machine was designed by the Germans, and their technology is renowned for its reliability and durability. Secondly, near the excavator, there are 23 lifting cranes and a huge team of engineers who constantly monitor its condition and service it in a timely manner. And in case of a breakdown, help arrives promptly. And thirdly, the lifespan of such monsters is always calculated to be around 80 years. Just imagine, it took 5 years to assemble Bagger 288, and how long did it take to produce the parts? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Here I am praising this excavator without saying a word about its size. Well, its length is 720 feet, height 314, it has 12 tracks of enormous size, and in one day it extracts 236,000 tons of coal. Now, do you understand how powerful it is? True, the speed of this machine is not that high, just 1/3 of a mile per hour, but this didn't prevent it from once covering a 13-mile journey from one deposit to another. Wonder how long people were stuck in traffic. You have probably already heard about the longest road train in the world in one of the previous videos, and many of you really like this information. So, especially for you, I found another interesting example. It's not always possible to transport all cargoes on good roads. Often, such work needs to be done in difficult conditions. This was the task set before the American military designers in the 60s, to create an off-road train that would transport huge cargoes. The overland consists of 12 trailers, and the total length of the road train was about 550 feet. And this monster could transport 150 tons of cargo at a time, in the complete absence of roads for up to 400 miles. Basically, the road train is structured roughly like a regular subway train. One tractor would never have coped with such a difficult task, so there are 3 additional motor cars in the composition. The machine has 4 engines total, each with a power of 1,183 horsepower. And, thanks to a combination of power, size, and the presence of several traction cars, The road train can easily move even in the most difficult conditions. In general, there are many huge excavators, bulldozers, and other construction machines in the world, but I don't want to waste your time, so I specifically picked only the most interesting options of such machines for you. Therefore, I decided to add one more colossal-sized excavator, which proudly bears the name Big Brutus.
Damn.
The dimensions of Big Brutus are very impressive. It's 78 feet in length, 59 in width, and 160 in height. Essentially, it's a multi-story residential building on wheels. But what's most surprising is that this monster worked on electricity. It didn't have a single diesel generator. So, in some ways, this excavator, which mined coal, was eco-friendly. And the weight of the Titan was a colossal 5,500 tons. For such a machine to move, very powerful engines were required. There are 2 of them installed, each with 3,500 horsepower. By the way, these are not the only engines that the excavator had. To move the bucket, another 8 electric motors were required, each with 500 horsepower. And so that this monster wouldn't sink into the ground, it had 8 tracks, each of enormous size. This machine was operated for 11 years from 1963 to 1974. After that, Big Brutus was placed in a museum as one of the exhibits. But even in retirement, this monster is still dangerous. In 2010, a man died who wanted to parachute jump from the boom of the excavator. The man accidentally slipped while climbing and fell to his death. Remember when I told you about the biggest dump trucks in the world in one of the previous videos? Well, I found another monster that fits perfectly into my list. It was created back in 2008, and its size is simply astounding. Of course, it's not the biggest dump truck in the world. In terms of payload capacity and size, it's far from the leader Belaz. But why is it on our list then? Well, because even so, it's one of the largest vehicles in the world. And importantly, it easily moves anywhere. This monster's standard payload capacity is 363 tons. And if you need to transport a load over a short distance, you can load it up to the brim, up to 400 tons. This machine is the size of a real house. It seems like you could literally fit everything you need for life inside of it. The length of this truck is an astonishing 52 feet, the width is almost 33, and the height is 26. Isn't that a wonder? I'm still amazed at how such huge machines work, but in fact, the secret is very simple. The dump truck is powered by electric motors. Unfortunately, or fortunately, standard internal combustion engines are not suitable for pushing such heavy vehicles. Therefore, diesel engines play the role of a generator, and the speed of the truck is quite high. On a flat road, the dump truck accelerates to over 37 miles per hour. And a few more interesting facts, the total power of the engines is 3,750 horsepower, and the fuel reserve is almost 5 tons. And the most amazing thing is the size of the tires. If standard cars use tires with a maximum of 22 radius, then this monster has ER63 wheels. What is a machine for you? A regular passenger car, a truck, or maybe a warehouse forklift, or any technology that can move? Personally, I think that all these are machines because they share a couple of parameters. They all move on the ground, and they have engines. And these criteria can even fit those devices that can move underground. And now, I would like to talk about probably the largest underground machine in the world. Bertha is a tunnel boring machine. As you can understand from the name, it was created to lay tunnels underground. But the most amazing thing is not this, but its size. Bertha's diameter is almost 59 feet, which is approximately equal to a 6-story building. And its length is almost 328 feet. Turns out, it's a real multi-story building that can independently move underground and pave the way. By the way, this machine weighs a colossal 6,350 tons. However, the speed of such a machine is not that high, only 32 feet per day, but in return, you get a huge, fully ready tunnel. By the way, another fact amazes me. The power of this machine is 25,000 horsepower. What do you think of this monster? Share your impressions in the comments. I thought that talking about machines that only work in the mining industry would not be very interesting, So, especially for you, I found the largest agricultural tractor in the world. It's called the Big Bud 16V747. And just look at the size of this monster. Its length is 26 feet, width 29 feet, and height 13 feet. Next to this tractor, regular cars look like toys, but not only this parameter is striking. During operation, this machine uses a chisel plow 78 feet wide. Under the hood of this monster is a 16-cylinder diesel unit with a volume of 24 liters and a power of about 1100 horsepower. The tractor has a very impressive sized fuel tank, a whole 4,000 liters. It's scary to imagine how much fuel this monster consumes during its work. The first such tractor was released in 1977, and it cost then $300,000. Taking into account inflation and all currency fluctuations, its current value is estimated at almost $1.5 million. A total of 500 units were produced. Write in the comments what you think of this colossal machine. Remember, I showed you the Liebherr crawler crane in one of the past videos. Well, it was not the most powerful and largest crawler crane in the world. Quite recently, the Chinese company Sany released their new machine. As you might have guessed, it is a huge crane. And its lifting capacity is simply astounding. This machine can lift a load weighing 4,500 tons into the air. I advise you to sit down if you are standing, because what you will hear next may surprise you so much that your legs literally won't stand it. Just listen to these numbers. The height of the two lattice booms of the crane was a whole 708 feet. Nice. But that's not the most amazing thing. The fully assembled machine takes up as much space as 10 basketball courts. I think now you understand how huge this monster is. Not many residential buildings can compare with this crane. True, the lifting capacity will decrease slightly. Each of the machines will be able to lift only 2,000 tons. But, as it seems to me, this disadvantage is more than offset by the possibility of doubling the speed of work. I would really love to see this monster at work live. And you? Share your thoughts in the comments. An Arab Sikh named Hamad bin Hamdan al-Nahyan decided that cars of regular size were not interesting to him. Therefore, he decided to create huge analogs of different car models. I already told you about one of his works in a previous video. Then it was a huge Dodge pickup. But recently, another monster of this crazy Sikh appeared, a gigantic Hummer. The original car had comparatively small dimensions, 13 feet in length, 6 in width, and 6 in height. The Arab model is just a little bigger, only 46 feet in length, 19 in width, and 21 in height. But what could such a gigantic machine be needed for? Probably to make it a relaxation room. And here you would be absolutely right, because the Arab Sikh traditionally made a real mansion on wheels out of the Hummer. True, now I have not found information that furniture and equipment have already been placed inside this machine, but as it seems to me, this will soon change. Imagine how convenient it is. You're driving down the road, no traffic jams and nasty drivers, want to turn right, want to turn left, feeling sleepy, you have your room at your side. Isn't that a wonder? True, the maximum speed is a bit disappointing, just 20 miles per hour, so falling asleep will be easier than easy. Oh, I got a bit carried away there. Let me tell you about probably the coolest machine in the world. By the way, there are only 2 of them, so they are more exclusive than a Bugatti. And its size simply boggles the mind, as inside this vehicle you could fit several families, providing them with full-size multi-room apartments. I even think that the richest people in the world don't have a house at their disposal that's larger in area than this thing. Interested, huh? Okay. I won't keep you in suspense. I'm talking about NASA's crawler transporter. This machine weighs 2,400,000 tons. And do you know its dimensions? About 130 feet in length, around 110 in width, and 50 in height. This behemoth moves autonomously with the help of electric motors, and they, in turn, are powered by diesel engines. There are 2 of them, each with a power of 2,750 horsepower. By the way, they generate about 2,000 kilowatts per hour. With such power, you could supply several residential high-rises. True, the consumption is a bit high, 35,000 liters for 60 miles, and the average speed with a load is about 1 mile per hour. But why does America need this thing at all? It's needed, my friend. To deliver huge rockets and shuttles to the launch, the transporter can lift up to 6,000 tons. So, in addition to setting up a multi-apartment building inside, you can load on top another 3 buildings of the same size. These were the biggest machines in the world. Thank you for watching, my friend. To deliver huge rockets and shuttles to the launch, the transporter can lift up to 6,000 tons. So, in addition to setting up a multi-apartment building inside, you can load on top another 3 buildings of the same size. These were the biggest machines in the world. Thank you for watching.